So I got this Celestron Edge 9 1/4 inch SCT. I bought it used from a guy off Cloudy Nights, and it's in pretty good shape. He lived in North Carolina, which is I'm assuming a fairly humid environment, and it kind of looks like there's maybe some kind of fungus growth on the inside of this corrector, and there was also some on the outside of the rear cell that I cleaned up yesterday. So I cleaned the front of this corrector, and there's definitely some haze on the inside, and then these specks like right there, and there's one right there, and that's what I'm thinking. It resembles what I've seen as fungus on camera lenses. So I'm going to attempt to clean the inside of this corrector, and I've looked online and I can't find any instructions or tutorials on how to go about doing this. So I'm just going to wing it and hope for the best, and if I screw it up, then I guess I'm going to have to ship it to Celestron. So I took the front, this front piece right here, and I marked it, but I don't think this is really the part that I need to mark to make sure it goes back in the right place. And you can see these little pins that are meant to keep the front cover on when not in use. And those aren't screws, they're like, I guess, like little rivets pressed in there. So I was wondering if I need to remove this whole ring. So I removed the dovetail, and it looks like there's got to be a way that this, I think I should be able to get this out over these pins. Yeah, because this collar or ring, whatever here, is has a larger diameter than the corrector itself, which is why I kind of had to bend this to get it up and over these pins. So I think I should just be able to pull this out. And I do, I guess, want to mark it too, in relation to this outer ring. So I'll use some tape. It looks like there's actually a little marking notch in the glass right there, which should help me out too. And to get this corrector out, it looks like there are some tiny little Allen screws, grub screws or whatever, in this outer ring that are holding it in, and they have little soft tips on them. You can see there's one right there, and there's 2, 3, and 4, so it looks like there's 4. So I am just going to back those off ever so slightly, and hopefully the corrector will just slip right out, and then I don't have to screw anything up. So here goes nothing. Okay, so I just used some painter's tape and put 2 pieces right there on the corrector and the inside of this ring, and I made a little marking on this one with those dots. So it goes across this gap right here. So I'm just going to take my X-Acto knife and just slice that tape right there, separate it, and then I will loosen the 4 little screws just ever so slightly and pop this baby out. Ta-da! So it came out very easily, just barely back each of those 4 little tiny screws off, just barely, like not even a half a turn, maybe a quarter turn on each of them, and it'll loosen up just enough. So I'm not going to mess with the primary mirror in there. It actually looks pretty good. Glad there's no sign of anything on there. I did vacuum the outside of this ring here. A little bit of dust on the inside, but I'm not going to touch it. I'm just going to flip this over and clean it and pop it right back in. Also, here's a shot of the secondary, and there is just a little bit of dust on there. I think I'll just use a little blower on there to get that off, but no sign of any residue or anything like that, which is good. And here it is all back together. It's not factory new. There's a little bit of streaks in there. I could have done a better job. So if I do this again, I'll make sure I have all the proper supplies and solutions to really get this clean. I use these cleaning wipes that just got at Walmart. They're made for eyeglasses and camera lenses and screens and whatnot, and they actually did pretty good. I think a lot of people recommend methanol or methanol solution for really cleaning optics, free of streaks. So I'll invest in that for the next round. But it did come apart fairly easily and went together fairly easily, and I don't think I had a, you don't have to remove that dovetail. Just take off the ring. Was it 6 screws maybe? And then you're gonna have to kind of bend it to get it over these little pins. And then you got 4 little grub screws, Allen screws that are holding in the corrector itself. Just back those off ever so slightly, and make sure you're holding on to that little ring right there so it doesn't just fall, and just pops right out and you can go to town. So hopefully this is helpful to someone else in this same situation, and if you see this up on YouTube, that means that I didn't have any major problems as far as collimation or alignment issues or anything like that. So, yep, thanks for watching.